What's up, everyone? For those of you who don't know, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, specifically November 2009 sometime, I held a contest. It was a name that tune sort of deal. The winner of said contest got to choose what the next lesson, this lesson, was going to be about. Obviously, it's taken me some time to actually follow through with my side of the deal. I've been developing this lesson, I guess, for a while, and so with that being said, I appreciate the patience that you guys have shown me, or specifically, the winner has shown me. The winner chose, and I quote, ways to build up speed and how to construct a solo using sweep picking so that it sounds good and not really shoddy. End quote. Soloing boils down to three basic things. A foundation, if you will, okay? And I list them in a specific order because they build upon each other, okay? They are dexterity, the physical ability to actually play what you want to play, accuracy, being able to play it cleanly, and speed, how fast, okay? So, without these, you really don't... You can add musical theory and technicalities and all that stuff, but without that, these three things, you really don't have too much, okay? Especially, well, you don't have much as far as metal soloing goes, okay? You can still make your guitar sing, but let's face it, most of us are metalheads. We don't really care about making the guitar sing. We want that organized chaos that whatever our favorite guitarist is playing. So it's a matter of developing that organized chaos. Now, you can learn your scales and, go up and down them. What you're really doing is just a whole bunch of consecutive hammer-ons and pull-offs. And that really does... It has some chaos, but not the same degree of chaos, okay? So we want to establish that kind of chaos. And while I was listening to metal, many of my metal bands and stuff that I have on my iPod, I was hearing this one riff over and over, or one lick, I guess. And I decided it was perfect for this exercise. I was hearing it in Synergy, I was hearing it in Children of Bodom, Rusty Cooley, Malmsteen, Michael Romeo, the list goes on and on, okay? So it's this, this lick right here. Okay? It's alternating between hammer-ons and pull-offs, which is why it is fitting for this exercise, because it hits that first element, which is the dexterity, okay? Establishing the dexterity. And in order to actually make it sound good, you have to have the accuracy, and then it just sounds better as you speed it up. Or, in my opinion, it sounds better as you speed it up. So, let's take a look at this riff here. Okay? I'm going to be using the 3rd string in the 9th fret, fingers 1, 2, and 3 for this first position. Okay? The frets are 9, 11, and 12. And the pattern goes 9, 12, 11, 12, 9. And then you just repeat it numerous times. Okay? Now this next, we're going to move it up again, and we're going to use different fingers. And this is where strengthening your pinky comes into play. Or at least, this is a good exercise for strengthening pinkies, okay? For those of you who are like me and have a retarded pinky, pay attention, okay? We're going to be using fingers 1, 2, and 4 on frets 11, 12, and 14. Okay, and the pattern is like the previous one. 11, 14, 12, 14, 11. It should sound like this. Okay, again, we're going to shift up for this 3rd position. We're going to be using fingers 1, 2, and 4 again. And we're going to be using frets 12, 14, and 16 for this one. And like the previous two, the pattern goes 12, 16, 14, 16, 12. Okay? Okay? Now, the exercise and the dexterity really starts to develop when you mix these three patterns in various different ways. And I'll leave this up to your imagination of how varied you want to get with this. But just a quick example here, if I can actually do this accurately, because I'm kind of tired, so just bear with me. A little bit shoddy there, but using his vocabulary, a little bit shoddy there, but not too bad. Now, as you're increasing speed, you're gonna eventually hit a roadblock as far as speed goes, and the roadblock really lies within your fretting hand. Okay, so this is where you want to focus most of your efforts. Now, the next question is, how do you get past this speed roadblock? Because what's happening there? Well, really, what's happening is going right back to dexterity. It's the physical ability to play this. And it's developing the muscles within your arms and then relaxing them to a certain point where you can get past this roadblock. Now, how do you do this? You can do burnouts and stuff, but that's really not required until you get up to the really, really, really high speeds. So if you do hit a roadblock, here's what I suggest. I suggest getting rid of your pick. Okay, for visual dramatic visuals, we're just gonna throw my pick on the ground. And what I want you to do with this hand is mute every single string except for the one that you're using to play. Okay, turn on your gain to where it sounds really crappy, and then try and play this as cleanly as possible without using your picking hand. So that means that you're going to be focusing entirely on your fretting hand in order to create the sound of your notes, which is how you're going to develop these muscles up here. And then when you do add your pick back in, it's going to be a whole lot easier because you're going to be relaxed in your fretting hand, and all of the motion is going to be over here in your picking hand. So here's what you should be trying to do. Okay, you get the idea. That way, yeah, like I said, that way when you add your pick back in, you're focusing more on your picking hand, and you have a lighter touch over here because it requires less when you add your pick, because now you're relying on your pick to create the sound. Okay, so try that out when you hit that first few roadblocks or so. Rely on burnouts more towards the end if you really feel you need to. Now, addressing this next part, constructing a solo using speed picking so that it sounds good and not really shoddy. That's something that really is up to you. And when I think of speed picking in a solo, I kind of flash back to my Metallica days where I really wasn't making too much progress as far as soloing goes, okay? Speed picking in a solo, or speed picking in general, is a very limiting technique because you're only limited to as fast as you can play, and there's always going to be that one person who's faster than you. So it's really not something that you want to rely on as far as a solo is concerned. And if you look back, even, I guess, using Metallica and Megadeth as an example, if you listen to Marty Friedman's stuff when he was with Megadeth, his solos almost seem a whole lot more thought out and more fluid compared to Kirk Hammett's staccato style picking. So when you're constructing your solo, I urge you to completely forget about the concept of speed picking your solo and focus more on composing your solo in an intelligent way, because that's really where or how you develop a good solo, okay? And I can talk about this more if you wish, but I really don't feel that it's going to be too much of a help for this lesson in particular. So, focus on your dexterity, on your accuracy, and then your speed. And if you want to start throwing in technicality, then you can, but only throw technicality and theory in when you've established this basic foundation. Otherwise, it's really useless to you. Good luck. Let me know if you have any criticisms, comments, questions, kudos, etc. Peace.